Hi, Teacher Mary here. I wanted to give you a walkthrough of Qkids Demo 2 and give you some information to help you pass. The difference between Demo 1 and Demo 2 is that in Demo 2, it's more about your teaching style and your personality, plus the interviewer or who will become your coach will ask you a few questions, predominantly about your educational background, a little bit about you, how you would treat or teach younger students versus older students. So just practice your answer. I know sometimes you get nervous, especially if you can't really see the person because it's over the internet or over video chat. But they will ask you a few questions. So just make sure you understand. Make sure you know your educational background. Sometimes it gets hard to remember, especially in the heat of the moment. I'm going to hop into the classroom, aka my learning studio, like what I affectionately call it, and I'll walk you through each step of the demo and give you a demo walkthrough of all the content that you'll be going through with the interviewer. I'll see you in there.
All right, so now I'm in the Qkids classroom for demo interview number 2. I'm going to walk you through step by step each slide, each section of this class so that you feel confident and can pass your demo 2. As I mentioned before, your coach or your interviewer will start off by asking you a few questions about your education, ask you a few questions about how you would treat different types of students. In your demo, make sure you're using TPR, make sure you're super animated and you're excited. They do like if you have a background. Mine's super simple. Some of the feedback that I got that it was too dark. So actually I probably wouldn't wear this shirt in my interview or in my classes. I'll wear a brighter shirt so that I stick out. I do have some lighting. I have a simple lamp over here. I have another lamp behind me, and then I just have a simple spotlight that I got from a photography kit behind me. But I'll link some kits below to some lighting kits if you need it. Natural light is always best. I'm in a little bit of a confined space without a window or without any natural light, so I had to modify it. Okay, so let's start off by saying hello. So click on say hello. All right, now you're on stage. Okay, you can bring up your student or your coach at that point. Introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Teacher Mary. What's your name? Okay, I use sign language. I've worked with a lot of kids before, specifically autistic children, so sometimes that comes out. So this is name in sign language, just in case you were wondering. You do want to interact with the student, ask how they are, what did you do today? Or how old are you? And usually I go, and I count with them to help them understand. Or how are you? Happy or sad? And get them used to answering some questions. So we don't have to pick one. Your interviewer isn't going to be super all over the place like your kids may be when you start working with them or the kiddos. So just ask a couple questions. He or she will respond to you, and then go from there. Something else that they like is using the text board at the start. I like to make lists with them, so I'll ask, what colors do you know? And then I'll type them out, red, blue, so on and so forth. So just something to keep them engaged before the class starts. All right, let's hop right into it. All right, the first slide is always the introduction slide. It's usually an animation story. In this case, Kobe Koala is just drawing E-Chief, and what does he look like? Very simple. You can ask, how many eyes does he have? But you're going to teach that throughout the course of the class. So this is usually just to test and see the level of the students that you have in your class. And then we go on. All right, this is a fun game. This is one of my favorites. Shoot the balloons. So you'll say the word first. So you have them listen. And then you go, ready, go. So I'll do one round with you. So eyes. Ready, go. Pooh, 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 pooh. So they're in there. They're looking for the word eyes. Pooh, right? And you can play along with them. Your coach may make you do a couple. So nose. Ready, go. Pooh, 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 pooh. Pretty simple there. You can go through, they'll probably make you go through a couple. You'll see down here, I'll color it in for you. Right? You'll see how many they get. You don't have to worry about this right now. Your teacher is just looking for you to set up the game and be animated and play around. All right, now you're big, you're on stage. For when you're ever this big on stage, it's mostly for you to introduce new vocabulary. So in this case, we're introducing body parts. So once you click on head, this will come up. Head. And listen, right? I go head and listen, or head and listen, right? Something that I got a great tip on is that you can bring these all out. Gets a little messy in there, but what you can do is just X them out and then do one at a time. Arm and then point. Okay, make sure you're using TPR here. Make sure you're being animated. For legs, unless you can get your leg up on top of your head, which I for sure can't, I'll use something like this. So legs, this is my lemur. A little scary sometimes, but legs, and you can use that for legs, and then hands. For this, you're reinforcing vocabulary. So head, you want to make them say it 3 times at least. Get them involved. Show me head. Things like that. And then we're looking for hand. And then hands. Probably use a bigger S than this. You can print one out. You can put it on a popsicle stick. I've seen a lot of teachers do that. But then you go to hands. And then hands. And get the S so they understand. And then the same thing with arm and arms. The great thing here is that you can get the students involved, have them move around. They really like that. It also reinforces learning. Moving and being active helps create that neural pathway in the brain for your students to really understand and really grasp it. So it's super important to get them moving and for you to use TPR and be animated and reinforce that language. Same thing with leg and legs. You probably can't do this with both your legs, like I said, but you can use a stuffed animal or something like that, or even a picture, something that's easy for them to see in the camera. All right, so it's a matching game. First you can use the highlight tool or spotlight tool, and remember, legs, okay, heads, so on and so forth. And then you click new round, they turn over, they shuffle, get really animated, and then match. So it just looks like this.
Hands.
Hands.
Legs.
Right, so when they're clicking, they'll see that and the whole
Legs.
Yay!
Legs.
Yay! And it matches, right? So they'll go through and they'll match. And then you just keep going until the round is over. And then you'll see down here if your student is getting it, and then there's a little hint button if you need it. You want to have them practice their listening skills, so you're repeating all of these, right? So one by one, so eyes, ears, right? Show me your ears, eyebrows. And then you click 1 or 2, and then they will pick, and then you'll see down here that they got it. Good. Yay! High five! Good job. And you may have to do that a couple times. All right, so for this one, you're teaching the difference between big, small, or long and short. So there's a couple props. I've borrowed these from another teacher. You can get some ideas on the internet. You can search for different props or what have you, but something I use for big and small. So I'll go through that first. Big. Where is it? Big. Right? It takes a while to get used to the camera being backwards. Small. Good. One thing with using props is to make sure you're not hiding your face, especially your mouth. It's important for them to see what you're saying. The teacher, as the teacher, you want to make sure that they can see your pronunciation as you go. All right. Another one for long and short. Okay, make sure you're covering long and short. And then it's very simple here. So you click big. You go big or small. And then you click again and it goes into the appropriate box. So fairly simple there. You'll go through each of these. You probably won't have to go through all of them in your demo, but if you were in a real class, you would go through all of them. All right, so we're back to the animation story. I just moved these out of the way so that I can see. And then I go, what does E-Chief look like? So now they're really getting an opportunity to use the words that you just taught them in the animation story. So we're trying to figure out what E-Chief looks like. Click through the animation story. The students won't see these words down at the bottom here. Right? Only you will as the teacher. So you click through.
What does he look like?
And then you wait. And then they repeat. And then he has
a big head.
Right? Momo Monkey, he has a big head. And then you wait. And then, what is he drawing? And then sometimes I'll ask, what color? Just to extend a little bit, get them engaging a little bit more with the animation story. You can keep it simple for your demo. And then it keeps going. He has 2 arms. And then they repeat, and then Kobe Koala will draw. Right? And it keeps going throughout the animation story. All right. So in this one, it's called Lucky Card. This is where the student's going to go up on stage and get a little bit more engaged. So you select the student. You're only going to have 1 in there. And then pick a card. They pick a card. How many legs does he have? And this is where you can use the text board to help them out. He has 2 legs. Okay, and then that repeat for all the cards. I would go through all the cards and make sure you understand what the question is and what they're asking, just to make sure that you have the correct sentence. But you probably only have to go through 1 or 2 cards. If you had 4 students, you would click Select Student again, and you would see it pop up on the bottom and click for a new student. But since you probably only have 1 in your demo too, you just click on the 1 student. There's a couple buttons down here that only you see, but that gives you what the student is describing. So, what does she look like? And then you can ask the student or the students, because you'll have 4 in your regular classroom. She has 2 arms. She has 2, not 4, 2. She has 2 legs. I just swung my leg, but you couldn't see it. But and then you can, she has 2 eyes. Anything to get them to use complete sentences. There's a couple in here, right? You can go through all of them. This is turntable. You click on your student. They'll press start. It'll go, legs. So the student has to make a sentence with legs. So, and you go, I sometimes whisper it to help them. He had 2 legs. Or something like that. But typically they're pretty good. By this point, get them started. But then once they get it, get them a word. Don't forget those diamonds. Can't do it right now because there's no actual students in the class, but they really like, 60 plus diamonds. So you can be pretty liberal with your diamonds as you go through the demo. When you're in class, I'm almost always giving them a couple diamonds every time they do something well. All right, this is the lucky machine, fairly simple. Again, you're selecting 1 student. You're only going to have 1 in your demo, maybe 2. I doubt it though. And they click play, which is up here. If they don't click play, then you can click play for them. In all the classes that I've taught, the students are pretty good with this. And then click, it's going to go. And then you can use your text board again if they're struggling, but you can write it out as they go. He has a nose. And then you can keep going from there. And then don't forget those diamonds. Okay, Q&A, pretty simple here. Again, you're selecting 1 student. They're going to click the Q&A box. How many legs do you have? And then down here, you're typing it out with them. I have 2 legs, so on and so forth. Very simple there. It's more of a little bit of a role play. You're asking them personally about how many legs they have, or how many arms do you have? How many heads do you have? Simple stuff like that. Then for the summary, you're back to that original animation story where you're summarizing key points. This is an opportunity for you just to ask some of those questions that you've been asking throughout. So how many legs does he have? How many arms? How many eyes? And they're going to call it out. And it's very simple like that. The whole class sets you up for it as you go. And then at the end, the summary, they really want to make sure that each student gets put on stage. You did a great job. High five. Do you want a sticker? So there's 2 different types of stickers. There's your main stickers, right? If you hover over, you can see what it is. Sometimes I have a hard time finding which sticker they want. But there's some animated stickers here, like butterflies, things like that. Another fun one that you can do. Sometimes I'll put myself up here with them. And then I'll do one of these. So Spider-Man. And then I can have bunny ears. Just fun things like that. But this is where I say goodbye and tell them I did a really good job. I don't really want you emphasizing how many diamonds they got. I don't really call that out. I just say everyone did a great job. I'll pull the student up on stage. And yes, I still have bunny ears. They're a lot of fun. And then just to get rid of that, you can click this star here. And that's it. Good luck in your demo. I'm super excited that you checked out my channel. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit subscribe. I release micro-learning videos every Monday, and I'll be releasing more Qkids demo information soon. So look forward to seeing you.